Okay, traders, what is going on? Good morning to you guys. Hope all is well. Let's go ahead and get into today. What's popping on up? It's going to be a great day today, traders. Yesterday, first red day in a little bit of time. Certainly frustrating. I know they say, your latest trade, your last trade doesn't necessarily define you as a trader, but sure does feel like it at times. I want to get out of, get back on that green streak. Jerry, good morning to you. Hope you're doing well this morning. Let's go ahead and talk about what's popping on up this morning. You guys already see from the scans, the gap up watch list here. VLRX, John, good morning, brother. Morning to you as well. VLRX, that one's popping up. Just the other day, VLRX, they did a reverse split, and traditionally, we know what happens, guys. When these companies do reverse splits, they're not, well, they are stupid, but they'll come out with news shortly after the reverse split because they do a reverse split and you see VLRX pop up from 50 cents up to about $5. So they probably did a 10 for 1 reverse split. So they multiply their share price by 10 and divide their share count, their public public float by 10. So it's going to increase the demand for the shares available because there's going to be fewer shares out there. It makes this into a lower flow. Oftentimes what they'll do is they'll come out with that reverse split. Then they'll come out with their news. They'll wait to release the news shortly thereafter because the float is so low that you can get a pump on this pretty easily at this point, VLRX. So this one's on watch. I'm probably going to be avoiding it. Certainly one to stay to make note of, though, on what's going on with VLRX. Some of you guys yesterday traded some of the stocks we were going over in pre-market yesterday morning, like Iova, and you guys nailed that one. So great job today on Iova. If you guys took that, this one is holding that level. We'll pull up the chart here. My neighbor's cutting his grass. You guys hear that? So the trend line that this is on over the last few days, it has been respecting. That's going to be around 1575, 1580. So we're going to see how that level is going to hold off on Iova. This one's been grinding lately. I mean, it's been going straight up out of the gates, going parabolic every single day since last Thursday, Friday, Monday, Tuesday. So we'll see what it's going to do today. We'll really see what this one's going to do today. It's holding what was prior resistance at 1550, and it's holding that trend line pretty well. So Iova, I'm definitely interested here again today, as well as ARRY. ARRY, this one popped up yesterday on the scans. We're getting really overextended yesterday. This one opened up at what price? About $22. It was climbing all day yesterday, closed at about $26, getting up a little bit in after hours. So ARRY, I'm very highly interested in this one. If it goes kind of parabolic out of the gates, I would love to get a position on ARRY if we go parabolic. This one on the 3-year chart is breaking all resistance levels. So pretty much clear skies ahead here on Avery. Let's go parabolic, though. When we have a move like yesterday from 22 to 26, and then we open up and go parabolic, kind of, bust up another dollar or two on Avery, I'm really interested in that at that point. The next one I'm looking at this morning, you guys see the top scanner here on SE. Top scanner, we went over VLRX. Now let's take a look at SE. So we'll pull up SE. It's on the top scanner, guys, and this one is getting a gap up as well. This one's on earnings this morning from $25 to about $30 this morning. This one I'm interested in to see if the higher the better here. See if this one can go kind of parabolic out of the gates. It's on earnings, so be careful. This one is on earnings, so a lot of guys are going to be buying the dip here on SE. But the last time SE gapped up and went parabolic, it yanked back pretty hard and grinded throughout the day. So that's something just to keep in your mind. Another stock that's getting kind of stupid this morning is WKHS. This one is getting kind of stupid. 191 right now. I could locate shares here. This one very recently went parabolic from about 80 cents to 320. That was only a few weeks ago. You guys know when it happens very recently, I mean, there's going to be tons of resistance. And why is that? Because you got all these bag holders. So people are buying the stock. What's the stock at now? 191. So all the way from like $2, people chasing this, all the way up to 320. There's going to be a lot of baggies that are very recently in this, and they're just looking to break even. You guys ever been in a trade and it goes against you very much? You get in from you get in at $3, it retraces down to 120, and you're just looking to get out for a small loss or a break-even trade. That's where a lot of guys are in WKHS. So that, with that being said, when a stock goes parabolic like a week or two ago, it's not gonna. It very rarely does that same move again. And on this chart, 220. See these three upper shadows. 220 is going to be really tough resistance. It's already sitting at 190. So yeah, I do like WKHS for sure on a short. The problem here is they're pretty expensive. About 3 cents a share is what I saw to locate. So 1,000 shares would be $30 plus a $25 fee. So $50. It's a lot of upside on this though. I might consider it. If this one goes parabolic out of the gates. WKHS. Might consider it. So that's WKHS. What else are we looking at, traders? J Towers, what's going on, man? Great trades yesterday. All right. BRZU is a stock that yesterday went from 21 to 24. I like this setup. I also like somewhat the daily. We're tapping that 13 EMA here. What I don't like about this is the daily chart is it's oversold. So yeah, yesterday, relative to its normal day, the velocity on the intraday trading yesterday, this thing got overextended. The problem is with some of these examples, and you'll see, I like the ones that are overextended. So not just intraday, but on the daily chart as well. So this is an example of a chart, and I'll show you the difference. BRZU, this one from 21 up to 24 yesterday. Yeah, relative to its average trading day, that's extended. Relative to its daily chart, that's not bad, and this thing's oversold. So let's take a look at the daily here. This thing's oversold, coming down to lows. And we'll compare that to ARRY, which is another candidate this morning we're looking at. ARRY is at all-time highs, and it's overextended yesterday on the trading day. Quite similarly, too, 22 to 26 on ARRY plus overextended. BRZU, this one overextended intraday yesterday, but underextended, oversold on the daily. So you got to always compare the two, and that's what happened recently a lot. With let me tell you guys, DFRG. DFRG is a great example of this. This one hit all-time lows, and relative to its average trading day the other day, it did have a really big intraday, overextended intraday. But on the chart, on the daily chart, this one way oversold. And so, a lot of people got caught up in this one. Ended up tapping that 50-day and pulling back. I'm still interested here on DFRG. It's had two pretty solid green days back to back. The problem is, the chart, of course, we're still oversold. We do have tough resistance there at 720. Very tough. So this is one I will be watching today. If we continue to squeeze out some shorts and have a third green day in a row coming up to this resistance that we have marked off here, DFRG, I mean, this is solid resistance. You don't get any more solid than that. 725 is going to be tough. 763 is going to be the 200-day moving average on DFRG. So I'd probably start this around that 725 because that might hold up really strong. I mean, that is solid resistance. could start it there, and like maybe a quarter position, because we got to risk up to the 200 day and a little bit above that, so probably 775. Have you guys been I know, Jay, you mentioned you're trying to build a position yesterday on that one of those tickers we were going over. It works, doesn't it? I mean, it really does work. So I'm not going to take just 1,000 shares at 720, because this has the potential to gravitate towards that 200 day. I will define my risk, but I want to be a little flexible, with the expectations here. And that's a Mark Douglas quote. Be very rigid with your rules, flexible with your flexible with your expectations. And that's what we're going to be doing on DFRG. Pretty much any stock. There's so many variables, and they're all to these stocks. There's so many variables. There are those psychological levels of resistance, and but oftentimes they'll break it a little bit and maybe retrace it. They might not necessarily respect certain patterns. You might have a bull flag and then it breaks and then just comes right back on down. There's so many different variables. That's why I think it's smart not to have just such a tight stop. Be flexible with your position. Build a nice position. For instance, yesterday on that stuff, if you guys watched the video from yesterday, should have been stopped out at high a day. You got to have a stop. You got to have a stop. You can't just add into these forever. So I'm happy there. I guess I could consider it a win there. But when you stop out right near the top and the thing fades today, or yesterday, it faded all the way down to, it faded under $21. And I had an average on here somewhere in the $22 range. I had a great average. Thinking it was going to do this, but it took longer than I expected, and that's why we got to be a little bit more flexible with those expectations. And maybe I just added into this a little too early. So today, I'm going to try to be a little bit more patient with my ads. And obviously, I could have taken this first dip down here. Some of the guys did a really good job. I just wasn't sized in enough, That's probably I don't know. Rigid with the rules, flexible with the expectations. Okay, so what are we going over today? We're going over WKHS. Yeah, that one's looking really nice for 220 resistance. SE, parabolic out of the gates, would be fantastic, traders. VLRX, that one, kind of the newsletter, reverse split news this morning. DFRG, going to be looking at that for 720 and 763. And then ARRY, I love that one. Love that one. Overextended on the intraday and on the daily chart. So let's get, higher the better here. Let's just pump this baby on up at the start of the day. And I would be really excited to take a position there. And then, go ahead and draw your trend line here. Go ahead and draw your trend line on AARY if you're going to be trading this one. Just know what's, 2450 yesterday was like soaking. That level was really soaking. And then we got 2580 here on that trend line. Came right down to that crazy candle right here. I don't know what's going on with that candle. So just know your trend lines. Understand what's going on here. If we go parabolic to 27, 2750, 28, there's no way I'm not taking a position on that. Just a high probability setup all the way. Granted, we don't have the exact, looking at the daily, I like to see resistance, that I can kind of play off of a little bit. And, there's none of that. It's just overextended. So I'd be risking like $1 amount versus, if this is over under 200-day moving average. And that's something you guys should do too. If you're playing a risk at a certain level, a trend line, a moving average, etc., you get faked out a lot. So it's really smart just to let it see if it's going to hold the level. That's what oftentimes I'll do. If it breaks a certain level, I'm not going to stop out right away. Let's wait and see if it holds. If it holds that level, then I'm out. That's what you want to pay attention to, because a lot of times these are fake out breakouts, and they'll just come right back on down. They'll just take out some stop words and keep the party moving. Okay, traders. And I'll be watching IOVA as well. That one for continuation. Traders, that's going to be it for today. I find these stocks every day straight through the scanner, guys. This is a really good deal. It's like $95 a month, guys, and you get the intensity scanners, the top scanners, the gap up, gap downs. So new deal. I try to work for you guys. I listen to the market. You guys say there's only a few of the scanners that you're wanting, so let's offer those at a better rate. So that's where we're offering, guys. Take advantage of that. That's going to be in the description below. You guys will have those scanners for the trading day, because that's what I'm going to be looking at today. These positive intensity, negative intensity scanners. See what's popping on up today, and we'll go from there. So, guys, thank you for tuning in to Avery Day Trading. I love you guys. Let me know if you need any help, have any questions at all. We'll be more than happy to help you guys out. If you do have any, though, everydaytrading@gmail.com. All right, guys, predefine that risk today, and we are going to have a great day. All right, we'll see you guys tomorrow.